आपके दिमाग में क्या आता है जब आप स्पेस के बारे में सोचते हैं? मेरे दिमाग में अगर एक एंटरप्रेन्योर के पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचें, द सेकंड रिचेस्ट मैन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड एलन मस्क आता है. His love for rockets and tweets saying to the moon. That is just amazing. Okay, so when we talk about space, we cannot forget about Neil Armstrong, the first man to land on moon. I'll just share his quote on his thinking connected with space, where he said that one small step for a man is one giant leap for mankind. Today on this video podcast on BizNation TV, we have the co-founder and vice president of Himalayan Space Center, a space audiopreneur and an entrepreneur, Mr. Viresh Patil. Thank you so much for joining, sir. Thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you, Mr. Veer.
All right. So as we move ahead in this podcast today, Mr. Patil, I just like to ask that what is Himalayan Space Center all about, and where did the journey exactly begin with that?
All right. So Himalayan Space Center is a brainchild of my colleague Afroz Mamoon. He had been with NASA as a Space Camp ambassador since 2013. So initially, he used to take students from different parts of Asian countries to Huntsville and Houston for getting exposure to the astronaut training, what happens there. Right, it's a residential program which happens in US. So when this journey started with him, and there was one thought which was which came up, and we wanted to have the replica of that particular program here in Asian countries. One, the reason being it is very costly. So the affordability for Asian country students, especially in India, it makes it a bit difficult for everyone to go for it. Though they have the ambition, the interest, and the crave to understand more about space, being an astronaut, or anything related to space. Because we often see these movies coming up like Mission Mangal and many other movies, right? So they keep students and the aspirants on their toes to understand more what's happening the other side, right? So yes, so that's when Himalayan Space Center came into picture, and we formed this organization together to get this opportunity to all our students who are deprived of getting there or being there. Right. So we started Himalayan Space Center officially around 2018-19 as a legal entity here in Asia. And we started programs in India, Bangladesh, then a couple of programs in Turkey, and we are coming up with programs in Dubai and Sri Lanka as well. So that's the program, especially our flagship program, which is called as Young Astronaut Program, which I'll be discussing in a few minutes. So that's where the journey started as a Himalayan Space Center. And Himalayan as a word, sorry to, I should mention this, because Himalaya is something which keeps multiple countries together, especially. So that was the name which, Afroz wanted our organization to be named.
Absolutely. Okay, so that is a very unique name, as you mentioned. It is also representing India at Asia level. Definitely, it will be a huge name in the upcoming years. So what I'd like to ask Mr. Patil is that, is this program centered only for children of who are in the young ages or who are in the school, or what exactly is your target audience in this?
See, I mean, the whole Himalayan Space Center is for all the students. I mean, when I say students, even you are a student for us, right? I'll tell you why. Because we have one program which is like for the astronaut program, right? And one for the astronomy as well. I'm sure more than 90% of the people have not seen the planets with the naked eyes, right? I'm sure most of them might have studied in the schools as a solar system, how many planets are there, or they might have watched multiple videos in the YouTube and all. But having the live picturization, how to see the planets and the nebulas, the stars, and multiple things in the space. So everyone is a student, right? So right from the age of 5 till any age, we don't have limitation for that, right? I'm sure everyone wants to know more about space.
So anyone who wants to or needs to have knowledge or is keen to have the knowledge of space is your student and is your target audience as well, if we see it from the entrepreneur perspective. And definitely I'll also recommend those watching our podcast today to definitely search about Himalayan Space Center. That is one unique kind of venture which Mr. Patel is heading from his end. So as we move ahead in this conversation, I'll just mention few of the programs which the Himalayan Space Center is catering to. So, Mr. Patel, I'd like to ask that I'll just mention the programs and I'll ask your kind self to give a brief about them, right? So, firstly, what is the Young Astronaut Program and what is the Rocketry Workshop? So, how do you see the future of education shaping through these programs?
Especially space, when you talk about space education, right? And as I earlier mentioned, this is not much touched here especially if I talk about India, right? Mm-hmm. None of our education system, none of our syllabus, though it is CBSE, ICSE, whatever you name it. So we don't have explicit, subject which teaches in the school itself, right? Only when students come out of this, school and they go into college or the universities, only like 5 to 10% of the students get to know about it. They travel across the world and they want to be an astronaut or into space programs, right? So right. Yes, so Young Astronaut Program specifically, that is the replica of what happens there in US. So every student lives the life of an astronaut. So when I say lives the life of an astronaut, so whatever happens, the training an astronaut, a real-time astronaut undergoes the training. The similar program here, which will be programmed here for Young Astronaut Program, right? So especially the rocketry. When you talk about rocketry, again coming down to the same movie what I mentioned, right? Mission Mangal. Everyone might have seen the whole team working towards getting one rocket being launched, right? So the nitty-gritties of the rocket, the theoretical part of rockets, how the propulsion works, how the different parts of the rocket works, right? So when the students, they have hands-on experience, theoretical as well as practical, because we have model rocketries made by the students where they launch it, which flies high up to like 500 to 1,000 feet high, and the outcome of that whole program, the students enjoy a lot, right? In that enjoyment, they learn a lot, right? Especially when the rocket takes off, when they have this model rocketry, they'll have goosebumps, especially, right? Yeah. So yeah, so that's the feeling what they get, and when the rovers come out of that particular model rocketry and it is made to land, so they will understand and they will relate what the whole world is talking about. That especially when you mentioned about Mr. Musk, right? So yeah, how that whole phenomena works. So that is the complete experience what we want to give them as an Himalayan Space.
You just made me imagine that when a rocket launches to 500 to 1,000 feet, that definitely gives goosebumps to a student at the initial age when they learn such a big thing, because it is definitely an achievement for a student at a young age to learn such a thing.
Exactly.
And experience. So, Mr. Patel, one more thing I'd just like to ask, that we had a new education policy which came into existence in 2020 last year when we were into the lockdowns and everything. So yes, when you talk about hands-on experience and theoretical and practical knowledge both, have you kept it in mind regarding the Himalayan Space Center to work it in accordance with the national education policy, which will be into implementation soon?
Yes, that's very true, Mr. B. So there are two things happening. One, we as a private organizations are getting associated with the schools and colleges to have these programs in their curriculum. One. Second thing is, Mr. Modi also, right? He is working with ISRO to get this particular program in the new policy. That was recently in the news as well, right? So our program is already ready to to be used. It's like ready food to eat, right? So nobody has to again build a curriculum, set right, and we have to start. It's already ready. Only thing is we just have to eat it, right? So we are already associated with multiple schools across India, right? We have been doing programs in Calcutta, Mumbai as well. So the students and the teachers, especially the teachers, are enjoying our program because they had never had this kind of curriculum in their career of teaching.
So one thing I just came into mind, that can I call the Himalayan Space Center a startup? It is an idea in which you are working ahead of time, right?
Yes.
When I mention ahead of time, that what I say, why I say that is because the new education policy came in at around 2020, and no one knows when it will be completely into implementation and existence, right? So you are already into the initial stages. You're working from 2018, 2019 into this idea, into the education sector, to both implement it practically and theoretically. So I think what my perspective is, this can be a unicorn startup which can be funded in the upcoming years to come, considering the idea and considering the knowledge you are providing into the education sector. What is your take?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Because see, there are very few players into this particular field, and we being one of the oldest, you can say, because we have been seeing very youngsters coming up with multiple ideas into space education. But yes, they are more onto technical side. But when we focus on curriculum, building the curriculum, then going to the schools, colleges at a basic level of understanding to the students, right? So that makes us very different, and that gives an extra edge. Yes, of course, that's what I mean. Everything goes well, and as you said, we can be a unicorn as well.
Definitely, sir, because I see that happening, because these things are, I mentioning my own thing, because I have as of now I have taken podcasts of more than 200 startups, right? This is nothing to boast of. This is just a personal experience I'm sharing, and some of these ideas are unique, which you see happening over the years to be something big.
Yes.
So that is a mental state which I just shared with you, what I see happening with the organization.
Very true, Mr. V.
Right. So, Mr. Patil, where do you see the Himalayan Space Center 5 years down the line? When you see it as a vice president, when you see from the perspective of employees, or when you see it from the perspective of investors in your organization?
Down the line 5 years, yes, Himalayan Space Center wants everyone to be a part of it. All the students grow with us, right? And make sure they participate in multiple events across the globe. And we want to have astronauts coming out of India, especially, or Asian countries. Not many of them are there. Whenever we talk about astronauts, they're all from US or Russia or any other countries, right? So we want most of them to come out of that particular comfort zone and be there. We want to see more of Indians being into these platforms.
That's a great idea you have, and that's a great vision you are keeping in mind. So taking on this podcast onto a lighter note, now I'll just move on to this or that round. I'll just shoot questions, and I'll expect quick answers for that thing.
Sure.
Right. So firstly, rich and famous or rich and unknown?
Tricky question. So I would say rich and unknown, because see, we don't want to be like a famous, but yes, we want to reach out to all the aspirants, right? So whoever is in need, whoever is craving to be part of it, yes, they're always welcome. We don't want to be like, famous kind of, but yes.
All right. So another thing related to the entrepreneurial line itself, ambition or comfort?
Of course, ambition. And I would suggest all my students and whoever is part of HSC, as in Himalayan Space Center, to be ambitious. That's where something you can achieve, and you will lead to something.
Okay, and considering from an HR point of view of an organization, what do you consider? Do you consider hiring a fresher or relying on experience in your organization?
Okay, from the Himalayan Space Center point of view, I would look at hiring the experienced ones. Again, we can of course train them, right? But a basic knowledge from the trainer's perspective or the execution perspective, we would always look at the second one.
So when you mention a trainer, what is exactly the basic knowledge that you require under the organization?
Anyone who is good in science with physics and mathematics.
All right.
Because the whole universe, when we talk about the space, it is all physics, and of course mathematics is definitely there.
Okay, so I'll just put up a question into that. Don't you have a perspective that a younger mind will work with more of a curiosity to handle the things better?
Young minds are more faster than us, right? Whenever we talk to students, we will have lots of outreach programs. We ourselves will be more astonished, surprised to see kids or students coming up with so many thoughts, so many information, where we also sometimes have to Google around. Right, so they have immense knowledge. So that makes us easier, to execute the programs.
Definitely. Okay, I got your point. So the next one, working in early morning or late nights, what do you put your thing into?
I would say both for our profession, right? Because what we need is late nights and also early mornings, right? Especially when I talk about astronomy, right? We do astrophotography as well, where students or me myself go out and like lots of pictures and galaxies and nebulas and so there we have lots of late evening planets and early morning planets, right? So both are fine for me. But when you talk about entrepreneurship and current system going, right, late nights will always be the best one.
All right. So your answers was amazing in this. Thank you so much for this. And one thing I just like to ask you is, what is your education background? Basically, what education background do you have, which put you up into this situation to have an organization like the Himalayan Space Center?
Okay, I have a very diversified education, right? I come from an IT background, worked with multiple organizations like Wipro, TCS, Infosys, right? Based in Bangalore, of course, where you must be knowing, okay, Bangalore is more of IT hub, right? Yes. So been into it, like somewhere I felt, that is not my cup of tea, right? And entrepreneurship, I mean, if I have to tell it in Hindi, what you say is that Kida, right? So entrepreneurship Kida was always there, right? So that made me venture into this, where I have another organization as well, which is called Write Your Destiny, which is more onto human consulting. But yes, this is again one of that Kida which went on, and my colleague, of course, Afroz Mamoon, he's based in Dhaka in Bangladesh. So I come from a diversified education. And a mix of multiple experiences.
That is why you are into a situation like this. You need to have a diversified profile to run an organization like this.
Of course.
Okay. So one last question, Mr. Patil. What advice will you give to a young entrepreneur who looks up to this podcast today?
Young entrepreneurs, I would say, first thing is be focused, right? And choose your, whatever you want to do. Be choosy. Just don't go with the flow, right? That will lead you to nowhere, right? So focus is more important, and choosing the topic or the domain what you're expertised in, and stick on to it. Sticking on to the your idea is very, very important, because we see most of the startups and entrepreneurs coming up every year, but they have their very short journey, like 2 years or 3 years. For any enterprise or any organizations or any startup to stand and grow, it needs minimum of some time. Like give it a time, right? Give it some time. Stay focused. Don't divert yourself, right? Things fall in place, right? When you are focused. This I can I'll advise to the young entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Okay. So I hope the upcoming aspiring or anyone who is a young entrepreneur definitely looks upon to this podcast, and it is also of help to many young individuals. Thank you so much, Mr. Patil, for your time. It was a very fruitful discussion on this podcast today. Anything you'd like to say?
Thank you, Mr. Ved. Thanks for your time. And it was pleasure talking to you.
Nice having you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you. All the best.